Okay, so gold versus silver in mouthpieces. Some people have a real preference for one or the other. Some people don't care. Right now, I am fortunate enough to have a Griego GP6 in silver and a Griego GP6 in gold. I thought it could be really interesting to kind of compare and contrast them and see if I feel any difference or hear any difference on the backside. Is gold just more expensive, or does it actually feel like it makes a playing difference? And we also have a stainless steel Giddings Webster Don Harwood model. Unfortunately, this one is much different specs than the Griegos. It's much larger overall, so I can't do a direct comparison. But at the end, it'll be nice just to hear kind of what this is like. First, though, we're going to test out 4 of kind of the main excerpts in bass trombone land on these 2 mouthpieces. We're going to start with the Respighi Fountains of Rome, and then play some Haydn Creation, some Schumann 3, and a little bit of the Kodaly Hary Janos. So, I hope it goes well. But this is more just to get an impression of how these mouthpieces kind of stack up. We're going to alternate on the same excerpt. Let's start with the Respighi Fountains of Rome, first on the silver. Okay, that's kind of our first run at the Respighi. Let's try it now on the gold Griego GP6 and see how that feels. Okay, so kind of fascinating. I wasn't really sure what to expect trying them out side by side, but I do definitely notice a difference on this loudest and most technically virtuosic material in the Respighi. The gold Griego GP6 feels like it's a little more core, a little tighter, maybe a little bit more nimble and projection. It has a little bit more nimbleness and a little bit more projection is what it instantly feels like. So that's kind of on loud and fast material. Let's try something a little bit lighter. Let's take a quick look at the Haydn Creation. We'll just do a couple of bars of the excerpt, up to A or so, to not keep you here all day. Going back to the silver Griego GP6 now. Let's give it a shot. Okay, a touch sloppy on my end, but again, this is just for comparing the mouthpieces, so I'm not too concerned about a chip note here or there. Let's try this again on the gold Griego GP6. So, what's curious is that I feel like I'm much more in control on the Gold Griego. It chipped less notes, and I don't think that's because of the amount of, or how I'm playing. It just felt like I had a little bit more grip and a little bit more definition. It's kind of surprising. All right, let's check out something slow and quiet. Let's do the opening of the Rhenish. Again, we're going to go back to the Silver GP6, and now I'm just going to be focusing on sound and consistency. I want to feel that like the control I felt on the faster material on the Gold Griego GP6. I want to see if there's a trade-off in sound and in smoothness using this slow excerpt that's really just built on beauty of tone and consistency. Really wish I had bigger lungs sometimes. That low E flat, that is a long note. Let's try this now on the Gold Griego GP6. What's very interesting is I was able to make the breaths that I wanted to on the Gold GP6, but I wasn't able to make the same breaths on the Silver GP6. Could be that the lacquer makes it just a little bit infinitesimally tighter. I'm not really sure. But I am finding that I am more efficient on the Gold model than I am on the Silver model so far. Let's try out one more excerpt for kind of the high range of bass drum I'm playing. Let's check out the Kodaly, Hary Janoś. Okay. Let's try out the same thing on the gold Griego GP6. So again, I am finding that the gold Griego GP6 feels like it vibes a lot better with me. It feels like I'm a lot more in control, and it does almost everything that the silver Griego GP6 does, but I basically miss less notes and feel a little bit more secure. I'm kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting lacquer to make as big of a difference as it feels to me. Listening back, I'm going to be really interested to see if it kind of like shows the same way. But when it comes to the Griego GP6 model, I have a definite preference for gold. Let's also try out this stainless steel Giddings Webster Don Harwood model. It is deeper. It's a big mouthpiece. This is like I don't know the specs on it, but it just feels real large. But the stainless steel is also a really interesting choice of mouthpiece material. So while this won't sound exactly the same as a GP6, and I won't have the exact same like comparison, I just want to feel what this stainless steel is like on this horn. Let's go through those 4 excerpts again, just one after another this time. So we'll do Respighi, we'll do Haydn, we'll do Schumann, and we will do Hary Janos. And I'm just putting myself through these paces for, I don't know, for fun. Let's try that. I gotta say, this feels really good. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I now have like a plethora of like great mouthpiece options, but that felt like there's something like a little special about this mouthpiece. I can't wait to listen back and see if that holds up, but it felt real nice. Let's try some Haydn on it. Yep, so I was just in reflection thinking about what the mouthpiece was telling me while I was playing, and I forgot to put the valve down. Oh well. But again, this feels pretty nice. I have no idea on this large of a mouthpiece how I'm going to make it through the last E flat of the Schumann, or the penultimate E flat. but let's give it a try anyway and see what happens. So, that was really interesting. It felt a lot easier than I thought it was going to feel on the breathing end, even though it's a larger mouthpiece. It might have actually worked the best of the mouthpieces I've played so far in terms of that last low E flat. Well, I'm surprised. Let's try some Hary Janos on it and see if the width and depth of this mouthpiece, let's see how the high B goes. Okay, it felt maybe a touch harder to control on a couple of notes. Like the poco stringendo at the end felt a little bit more raw on the chops, and intonation felt a little bit more slippery. But overall, like, well represented. The other day I did 2 trombones and 7 mouthpieces video, and the mouthpiece that everybody seemed to gravitate towards the most in the comments was this Momo 59W star. So, as long as I'm in the mood and I'm doing all these excerpts, why not look back at this mouthpiece? This one has a gold inner rim and kind of a silver outside playing, but it's all gold on the inside. So now that I'm wondering about how much gold versus silver makes a difference, maybe that's one of the reasons that it resonated with people. All right, let me see if I can make it through these excerpts one more time. And let's just kind of give ourselves one more quick data point and comparison of these mouthpieces. So again, we will go Respighi, Haydn, Schumann, Hary Janos. All right, just got to get used to this thing again, because this is significantly smaller than the other mouthpiece options I have right now. In fact, this feels like it's more in the 1.5 to 2G range. So after going with that very large Harwood mouthpiece, it's going to be interesting kind of scaling back and seeing what that does. Okay, let's jump over to some So I keep hitting this, so it makes me think that this tune's just a little bit tighter. I want to keep going a little bit sharper. So since I have the tuning in slide, I'm just going to make a quick adjustment there. If I'm hitting the bumpers like that, it's trying to tell me something. My body is trying to hit the right position, but the horn maybe isn't quite there. So, yep, just moved it back up. Let's try some Schumann now, and hopefully I won't keep like bashing into the bumper like that. Yep, so no more bashing on that. It is funny that the only mouthpiece that I feel like I had trouble making the breathing part was like the very first one I played. The Silver Griego GP6 for some reason. I couldn't make the breaths in the Schumann the way that I wanted to. But on all three of these other mouthpieces that I'm testing out, the breathing worked a lot better. Interesting data point. All right. So, Hary, Janos. All right, so that brings us to the end of our testing and the end of me trying to run through basically a solid first round bass list 4 consecutive times in a row. It was fascinating going through this difference, especially going through the gold versus the silver Griego. If I had to rank the mouthpieces off the top of my head, I might have a really hard time choosing between the gold Griego GP6 and the Giddings Webster Don Harwood. They both did some really spectacular things from behind the bell, and I enjoyed playing on them a lot. The Momo mouthpiece feels a little bit tighter, maybe, I don't know if it measures up to these other two, but I think there's some really attractive qualities to it as well. And finally, the silver-plated Griego GP6, to me, didn't measure up. It felt like the least efficient of the mouthpieces and the one that I had the hardest time playing. So, does gold versus silver make a difference? In the case of the Griego GP6, to me, the answer is clear. The gold Griego GP6 was just like, felt like a mile ahead of the silver one. I can't wait to listen back and hear if my assessment of it is correct, and also read what you all think about it as well. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoy the video and hope you're having a good start to New Year. Bye.